Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I would like to call to order the special budget meeting here. Let's move right along to the public inquiry. And I would, because of the fact this is a work day, I'm going to limit the public comments to 3 minutes. This has nothing to do with the regular minutes. For the regular meetings, I will continue with what we have been doing through regular meetings, but today, 3 minutes, please. So if anyone has something to say, please. If not, let's move right into the budget workshop. If you would, Jackie, please, let's start there.
The sheet that's in your packet says closing on Friday and/or 4-hour reduction for full-time employees. As you can see, the name of the individual is on the left-hand column, and then it goes the accounts that their wages come out of, and it tells you how a reduction in 4 hours would reflect on each person as it relates to the general fund or sewer fund or major minor roads. The total for general fund, if you go to the bottom of the list of people where it says Aaron and it says plus, I wasn't sure whether all DPW would be 36 hours, so if Aaron was 36 instead of 35, his numbers would be added in there because of the 1 extra hour. So general fund, by reducing hours, it would affect that by 11,280. Major roads, 2,217. Minor roads, 1962. Building department, 270. Sewer, 6,241. If you go down the page, how that reflects on the 401 savings plan that we have. The total is $626 for general, major 111, minor 97, building 13, sewer 324, for a total of each one of the funds. General fund 11,906, major roads 2,328, minor roads 2,059, building 283, and sewers 6,565, for a total of $23,141, which is about 1.73% of the total budget of $1,336,801.
Thank you, Jackie. Gentlemen, please, comments.
I can't see where we're going to benefit the residents by cutting their services. It's just the 1.73, it's not a lot of savings, but it'll show up there eventually. I just feel at this time that we've managed, since I've sat here, to come in under budget every year and add to our fund. I believe it was 2 years ago we paid cash for a new tractor, which was over $90,000. Something that we needed. The other one was 20 years old. And we actually made a little money on that one, getting rid of it. But you have to have equipment to provide services. You have to pay people to have services. The money you spend in your village, you're paying people to take care of the properties around you. And you can do it 2 ways. And I think for 1.73, and this says you showed the money's in the budget to do what we want to do, what needs to be done. With the money we have to do it. See the savings is gonna help the people. I lived here before there was a village. And, that's why it became a village. Because people wanted better services. They wanted their snow removed, they wanted their sidewalks repaired. They wanted roadkill picked up out of the road. You can drive just out of town. Just outside the village limits, there's 2 dead deer laying there. They're still laying there, they just drug them off the weeds. Drive by with your window down. Well, if one of those in the front yard in your village, are you gonna take care of it? You got means to take care of it? The county is not going to pick them up. They don't even put lime on them anymore. Drive to the pier. Every time you go to the pier, there's 15 or 20 laying along the road. And we picked up a lot of animals since I come on. I just wish we had kept track of them. That's my feelings.
Mr. Green?
Well, I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense not to keep our employees in the DPW working when they're supposed to be working and not working half a day. That half a day can mess you up, especially in the winter, when a half a day on Friday, they're not supposed to be working, we find out we just got 4 inches of new snow on the ground. So now, what's the plan? You know, obviously, the guys wanna go out there and plow the snow, and that's the benefit of the program. But anyway, that, and you're looking at dollars, you know, dollars are always important. But the other thing that we gotta take into consideration is that we do have dollars coming in to the village, not daily, but we do have them coming in, people paying taxes that haven't paid them before. We got extra monies coming in from the state. So in the end here, we're gonna find more money, I think, in our savings, because we've accumulated more money from various situations. I can't say the number of it right off the top of my head, but there's a name for that one fund that we get. Is it,
what,
what's one of the funds that we get that has a name to it?
state revenue?
Now, state revenue is one of them. There's
Act
some-
51?
Yeah, so there's 2 different accounts that we do create more cash. So, we hired these guys to do a job, and I think they do a good job as it is. And to cut them back a half a day, and that messes up their income. That's the thing you gotta think about. These guys certainly have their own budget. And when you eliminate part of it, that messes their situation up, and that's not what we wanna do. That's my opinion. I think it's not a great idea. I think we gotta keep it about like it is and see how it works out.
Thank you. Mr. Rick?
The Act 51 money, that's not the public act that we passed for the health insurance thing, is it? That you're referring to?
No, they don't have anything to do with each other.
Okay, well, because I remember we talked that we don't get transportation money if we allow that act to not be fulfilled as it states if we voted against it, so to speak, which we did by voting for it. So I just wanna make sure that wasn't the money that you were referring to.
I think he's referring to, was it 150, 152 Act, that's a little bit different.
That has nothing to do with the Act 51 money. We're in compliance with what we need to do with that act.
Okay, and then I guess my concerns are, from what I'm hearing from Pete now, is that our DPW crews, they pick up dead animals, we do snow plow, we cut grass, we do tree removal. And we're gonna be building a building in the park, that shed. Everything else that I've heard that comes through here, we contract out. The curbs, we contract
No,
out.
we do all the, you had a copy of everything they do. They do curbs, catch basins, sidewalk repair. We do
Last meeting, for the repairs downtown on Eagle Road, there's curbs up there that need to be repaired. I asked, when are guys gonna get to it? You said, we're waiting on a bid.
Well,
For
we're
a
waiting,
contractor to come in.
we're waiting to see if we come in and mill that area before we do it. When we do curbs, we do them all at one time. I can go out and do every short curb you want done immediately, but the problem is, I take short loads. When you take short loads, you pay an extra $100 for every time the truck comes. We do curbs usually once a year, and I correct Ethan, may I ask him, you line them all up, we get them all at one time, pretty much.
If they need to be, excuse me, if they need to be repaired, of course. The one uptown, that road needs to be milled. That curb's pulled away from the road. that small section of curb that's out there to be repaired that actually has cold patch in it right now, there's probably a 10-20 foot section of curb that needs to have asphalt against it. You're throwing your money out the window if you wanna repair a 4-foot section. There'd be problems up there, so we're trying to coordinate, are we gonna do anything up there with the road? Or we're just gonna do patches here and there? But we do repair curbs.
So I guess my question, Mr. President, is who is the one that decides that? If we're going to be doing repairs or if we're gonna be doing patching, and how long does that time frame last?
I would take under advisement anything that the DPW is gonna say, Mr. Maury. If we're gonna redo it, you gotta kinda coordinate how you're gonna do it, think ahead as far as any kind of a repair. There's no reason to throw money out if we have to go in there, and I assume that it's undermining underneath there is the issue. And if a lot of that has to come out, why put the expense in there to put something in there to take it back out, I guess? And that's.
No, I'm not gonna disagree with that, I'm just, you know.
No, is it unsightly? Yes. Is it functional? I think so.
Okay. So I guess I'm not gonna go through, rehash a whole meeting over and over again. Again, I asked for this proposal to be looked at. We're no different from where we were at last year to where we are today. Again, Aaron would be at 36 hours, he'd be gaining an hour from the last you guys did. If there was snow removal that needed to actually be done, I don't see why the guys wouldn't stay here and continue removing the snow. Nobody proposed that option not to happen. So other than your normal summer functions, which are normally our slower functions, you're still working 9 hours a day, 4 days a week. So you're gaining an hour during the regular day, and you're, still working 36 hours, cutting 4 hours out. And again, I just proposed this to you so you guys could try to fund the monies to hire another DPW worker and a 1.75 wage increase. So I'm not gonna rehash a whole 2-hour argument that we did 2 weeks ago.
I'm kind of on board with the fact where it doesn't make any sense to hire an additional guy to get more things done and then turn around and cut hours on everyone. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's not perfect. It needs probably to be looked at and maybe some adjustments and tweak it in, if you will. I have requested that the hours from the DPW be put in my box at the end of each week so I can review what it is they have done.
Very good, Brian.
And we will, I'll be talking with Ethan a little bit more and Pete and finding out what we can do and make things better. But I see improvements out there, and I think summer is probably a busier time than the winter time personally. I think there's an awful lot of things to be done out there. I want my community to look good and I want to see the services provided for the residents. And, with a little bit you're saving, I don't see what we gain. That's my feelings. And I will say that, it's always worthwhile to look at something. I don't have any problem with ever looking at something. And I guess in closing, all I'm going to say is that we will be looking at health benefits, and as soon as Jackie gets the rest of the information, in future meetings, we will be looking at.
What is that?
Yes.
We're not in the right time period as far as changing our deductible, which is what I was asked to find out. You can do that at renewal. It's on the sheet as far as my contact to do that, and she also is looking at a couple other, like we do every year, but she's looking at a couple other companies to give proposals. And if it's council's wishes to have it brought to council, it'll be brought to council.
All of this is, something that can be adjusted throughout the season. The budget can always be adjusted. We can do things to make the monies that we receive work. Can always be changed. Bill, anything else? And here we are. What do we want to do? Looking for a motion to move forward one way or another.
No, just consensus.
Consensus.
And as I mentioned, the budget that's before you is the budget that was prepared on 5/11, with the items in it that I was directed to put in, the 1.75, buying the salt spreader, going further into the personnel policy, the additional day off, and to utilize the funds for gravel on Erie and Dutch Road for the fund balance. That could be done yet this year, that money doesn't, this fiscal year, that money, it doesn't matter whether it's used this year or next year, it's in a fund balance. I think the DPW is trying to figure out, if we can get that material in before we do the chloriding, correct me if I'm wrong, so that, you know, you're not waiting until the next chloriding to be able to fix the road. And it's combining with the street sweeping. Trying to get the most bang for the buck.
Make a motion that we accept it.
Okay, make a motion.
My consensus is to go with the one we had Miss Sedge draw. That would be the green one.
Is that the right date? No,
You gotta get the dates, yeah, let's do the dates.
5/11,
5/11.
it might be the green.
And a motion?
No motion.
No motion.
Motion? Just
Workshop.
So when we review the personnel files, that's gonna be at a later, meeting, correct?
Personnel policy.
Personnel policy when it comes for the COLA and everything else that we wanna add into it.
Yeah, I still have the two proposals, one from MML and one from, I can't remember the name of the company, and I'm waiting for one other person to give me a bid, so I haven't brought those back, but yeah,
Do
we'll be
we,
working on the personnel policy.
do we need to spend that money on it, or can we just have kind of a workshop of this nature and brainstorm on what we think needs to be in it?
I think that would be a good idea, but just to double check that everything's in there, I mean, if I can find something that will tell me everything that we legally need to be in there, I think we're up to date, but it would just, our attorney's not a labor relations attorney, so he doesn't do that kind of thing. The one bid that I have, I think, is $700, just for her to take a look at everything and give the right verbiage for things. I mean, ours was written a long time ago. We have the Family Leave Act in there, which takes care of, and we have short-term disability that takes care of pregnancies or, you know, different things like that, but certain things aren't spelled out. When that was written, we had one full-time person.
Is there anything in particular you're looking for language-wise?
Just to clarify, I mean, if you guys all have a copy of it, if you, see anything, you know, I can go online and check it out just to make sure that we're covered. You know, we don't wanna spend money if we don't have to, I just thought it was time that we brought it forward and clarified if we need to clarify anything. And feel free, like I say, to take that piece of paper or the policy and underline and give it back to me, and I'll check things out. It's on the computer and we can change things and go forward. And I have a clarification that I'm asking for too. The Friday hours, that's for the entire staff. That we're gonna have the office open on Fridays.
Status quo, just leave things where they are, basically, our ones.
Just verifying. A lot of things happen on Friday.
Not all of them are good.
So what the direction I need is, there's an ad in the paper for the public hearing that will be on, I believe it's June 8th is when our meeting is. That's how we start our meeting, have a public hearing on the budget, and then we move forward down the line. So I need direction, consensus, that which budget you want me to have available for the citizens to pick up. If it's the one dated 5/11, then that's the consensus. If it's something else.
Mr. Maury has already spoke, I will agree with Mr. Maury. Mr. Gordon.
Why,
That's right.
why wouldn't you have them, why wouldn't you have both of them presented, so they can actually have an opportunity to look at them?
I didn't change the numbers